Imagine standing on a blood-drenched ridge, staring down an apocalyptic horde, armed with nothing but shattered steel and an absolute refusal to yield. In the sprawling, multi-layered cosmos of Yu-Gi-Oh lore, cosmic deities regularly shatter planets, yet a solitary human mortal somehow defined the true essence of heroism. Let's dissect Marauding Captain, not merely the iconic warrior card mechanics historically utilized for swift swarm tactics, but the battle-scarred commander whose sheer fortitude dictated the fate of an entire fantasy ecosystem. Scrutinize his defensive panoply. We aren't witnessing pristine, ceremonial parade regalia here. This is utilitarian, severely weathered Gothic plate armor sporting a peculiar, oxidized aquamarine hue, perhaps the result of advanced alchemical tempering or prolonged exposure to corrosive environments. Notice the meticulous articulation of those laminated pauldrons, aggressively studied with conical spikes engineered specifically to deflect lethal downward halberd strokes. Beneath the rigid steel breastplate, a sturdy iron mail hauberk envelops his neck, providing flexible protection against throat-slitting ambushes. He simultaneously commands a mismatched pair of cruciform hilt swords, a hefty, double-handed bastard blade resting casually against his trapezius, and an agile, shorter-arming sword gripped firmly below. It's an asymmetrical martial configuration that screams pragmatic improvisation. And that facial trauma? A profound vertical cicatrix cleaving straight through his left eyebrow down to the cheekbone, a stark, flesh and blood receipt from a brush with mortality that he undeniably won. He radiates the weary aura of someone who has successfully negotiated his way out of 4 separate apocalypses before his morning coffee. Marauding Captain shuns the safety of velvet thrones and distant bastions. He operates directly in the muck, orchestrating the frontline resistance of a fractured realm perpetually besieged by malevolent entities like the brutal goblin attack force or the cosmic nightmare known as the Invader of Darkness. His psychological profile reveals a textbook manifestation of altruistic leadership, bordering on a pathological savior complex. He functions as the ultimate vanguard, permanently prioritizing the structural integrity of his squad over his own biological survival. This unyielding benevolence tethers him to the most tragic narrative arcs in Duel Monsters history. Consider his profound entanglement with Gagagigo. Long before that reptilian brute endured cybernetic mutation and existential corruption, he was merely a vulnerable juvenile reptile trapped in the crossfire of total war. Marauding Captain threw his own armored body into the path of a devastating detonation to shield the creature, a monumental act of selflessness that ignited a multi-era chronicle of fierce loyalty, heartbreaking betrayal, and eventual spiritual redemption. This contrasts brilliantly against his professional relationship with Freed the Matchless General, who embodies rigid institutional military bureaucracy, and his philosophical rivalry with warrior Greffa. Where Greffa succumbed to a narcissistic fixation on personal empowerment, ultimately sliding into dark damnation, our captain remained immutably anchored by his moral compass. Talk about carrying the literal weight of a kingdom on your pauldrons. Historically, his combat design pulls a brilliant tactical bait-and-switch. While his visual aesthetic borrows heavily from Western European medieval chivalry, his simultaneous management of disparate blade lengths closely mirrors the Renaissance *Spada da Lato * and main gauche dagger pairing, or even the iconic *Knighten Ichiryu * dual blade methodology formulated by Miyamoto Musashi. Executing this in the chaotic meat grinder of a melee requires an astronomical cognitive load. Culturally speaking, he is essentially the Kevin Bacon of the Yu-Gi-Oh spell and trap card universe. Scan through ancient card arts and you'll spot him acting as the vital narrative sinew of this world, miraculously surviving catastrophic explosions, tactical ambushes, and demonic invasions. Notice how his swords belong to entirely different weapon classes? Here is a theory. Marauding Captain originally began his military tenure as a standard issue, shield-bearing conscript. During a catastrophic, undocumented campaign where his entire original platoon was utterly vaporized, his shield was completely splintered. Desperate and isolated, he scavenged the weapons of his fallen comrades, the heavy broadsword of his fallen mentor and the nimble short sword of his scout companion. His signature dual-wielding style isn't an ostentatious display of martial vanity, it's a physical manifestation of survivor's guilt. He permanently renounced shields because he consciously resolved that his own body would become the shield for the helpless, transforming a deep psychological wound into an unbreakable vow of absolute protection.